in the high school senior season was definitely an extra chip on my shoulder for just coming to college and working hard. So last year was definitely good. Not having football my senior year just brought more excitement, more energy, just because I wanted to play and get back to what I loved. So no, it was a great year last year.
You never want to have to play because someone's sick or injured, but getting into that Rutgers game, what did that mean for you in your career development?
No, yeah, like you said, I never want to wish any sickness or injuries on anybody, but it's the name of the game. It happens. So I just got my opportunity and I made the most of it. I prepared like I would every week, and I capitalized on the opportunity.
What does that mean for you going forward, though, now getting that kind of experience and being able to contribute to the game?
I think it's good. I think it's good for me having the experience of being in the game. And I think it only helps my teammates have confidence in me as well. Just being able to go in there and get the dub that week, and just everything we went through that whole week. So, it meant a lot to everybody.
When Shawn decided to stay for a sixth year in December, what was your reaction to that news, and what did you kind of gain this spring from having him around?
I was super excited. I mean, Shawn's like an older brother, mentor, so to have him in the building every day and to be able to learn from him for another year, I think it's super important to have him here for everybody, and for the young guys too that we just brought in. He brings a ton of experience, a ton of knowledge, and it's only better for us.
This is a pretty stacked quarterback room. What's the atmosphere like in there?
It's awesome. I mean, we're all good friends. We all get along. Obviously, adding Drew and Bo to the room really just took it up a notch. There's a lot of talent in that room, and we make each other better. So that's the best part about it.
How much further ahead are you guys at this time of year in year two under Mike Yurcich than maybe last year? I'm sure last year was probably tough to gauge, but do you have a feel for that now?
I mean, having a second year in a system is obviously going to be better than the first, so there's definitely been improvements on everything from the pass game, run game, concepts, just guys being able to make calls and reads. I think just being in our second year in the system, it's definitely going to be better, and you guys are going to see the improvement as well. So.
Your journey from Canada to Western New York to Maryland and here, with COVID and all that stuff in there, that's quite a journey. What was that like for you to arrive at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a cool journey. I've learned a lot, matured a lot, grown up a lot. Going to Buffalo, being in Maryland, being in Canada for quarantine and the pandemic, it brings a lot of value. You get to learn a lot of things being away from home, especially me moving away at 16. I learned a lot just being by myself and being just like self-governing, I guess, like just being my own person. And I think it definitely helped me get to here, being away from family, being in a dorm, just having a set schedule. Like, I feel like I've been doing it since I was 16, so it definitely helped my transition to coming here for sure.
Mike didn't recruit you. I think he was hired the same week you enrolled, right around there.
Yeah.
What was the relationship like, from the start to where it has progressed to in year two?
I mean, like you said, I didn't really know him before he got here, so it was really from there that we started building our relationship, and it's just gotten better and better every single day, especially now. So he's a great coach. We love his system. He's super caring about you and your family, so he's really a great guy to have around, and like I said, the relationship just keeps getting better and better every single day. So
We've only seen you a couple times play football, so what don't we know about you?
I don't know. I like to draw a lot. That was really a passion when I was a kid. I got a little bit away from it in the past years, but I want to get back to that. I don't know, man.
How about on the field? What do we not know about you on?
On the field? I don't know. I feel like I've had my game to show you guys that. I don't know. I can make plays on my feet. Obviously, I can throw the ball. I feel like I'm more of a pocket passer than mobile guy, so I want to kill you guys throwing the ball rather than run it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How about jumping? You jumped over a Rutgers defender last year. I'm sure you've seen that photo a bunch of times and video a bunch of times. When you come out of that matchup, got a chance to watch the film, how do you assess that extended performance as your freshman year?
There was definitely a lot of stuff to learn from that game in terms of my reads, my footwork, situational football. I just got a lot of stuff that I could take from that game and take it to spring ball, to camp, to the summer. I feel like I've got a base knowledge of like what my game is at this level. So now I can build off of things I need to work on. I can solidify things I did well. So I think it gives me a good benchmark.
Where were you physically when you got here, and where are you now in terms of weight and that sort of thing? And can you talk about your kind of development in the weight room and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I came in at like 197, 196, and right now I'm weighing 208. So I've gained a good amount of weight. All good weight. My body percentage in terms of fat and muscle has gone better over the years. So no, my improvement physically has definitely been great here, and it's due to Coach Losey and the strength staff, and obviously Coach Galt, who was with us last year. So big props to those guys.
Do you have a goal there? Ultimately, what you want to weigh, or kind of the dimensions you want?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like weigh, I want to weigh more than 210. Around 215, I think would be a great playing weight for me. I want to get my numbers up, obviously, my squat, my bench, but definitely my 40. I want to get my 40 down to a 4.6, high 4.5. I'm running around the 4.7s right now, so that's definitely a big goal of mine.
When you're a quarterback and they bring in two quarterbacks in a class after you, do they have a discussion with you about that, or what do you take away from that?
I think you just know every single year they're going to bring guys in, right? So whether it's one or two, I don't think it makes a difference. I think at the end of the day, we add value to our room. And bringing in Drew and Bo, just the talent that they have combined makes everybody else better. Like, I learned from them, and they're true freshmen, you know what I mean? So it's definitely good to have those guys in our room for sure.
What's the biggest improvement you've made from getting here to where you are now?
I think my biggest improvements has been being able to control the pre-snap and not just play post-snap. So in terms of identifying coverages, protections, setting ourselves up for a good play against certain blitzes, I think that's where I've definitely improved.
How much of that, going back to kind of your journey here, do you feel like some of that stuff you missed out on because you didn't have a senior season and some of those things you wanted to work on? Or is that something that you were able to work on even without football?
I mean, I think I definitely missed out on having a season. There's nothing like getting game reps. But obviously, I trained my butt off. I worked out a lot, and I tried to implement as much of my training into game-like situations, so I was still getting those mental reps. But obviously, it was tough. Like, I couldn't get what I really wanted, so I tried to get as close as I could to it.
So what was it like when you eventually got into a game after, almost 2 years of not playing?
It was a little crazy. I was nervous at first, and then once the nerves left, I remember just being back there and be like, hey, it's back to high school days. Like, I'm just playing high school ball. I'm back to what I love to do. So it took about a drive to get the shock out, and then after that, I felt like I was back. It really didn't feel like it was like 2 years from when I first played. So
guys were very complimentary of how you handled yourself when we talked to them after that game. Were there specific people out there in the huddle, who had been around, who said, hey, everything's going to be good, or did you just kind of have that sense on your own?
I think I had that sense on my own, but I think Jesse Lucchetta was a big dude who came to the sidelines to me and told me, like, you're good, you got this. And as the game went on, like, his energy was super up there, and I think that was important, just being a 6'13" guy and being from the same hometown. Like, he had my back, I had his back, and it really showed up on the sidelines that day. So he's someone who really stood up and helped me that day.
What's the next steps for you in terms of accuracy and precision as you go throughout the summer?
I think it's just we got to keep working on it. Like, when we throw with the receivers, throw with the running backs, the tight ends, I think it's really working on being perfect. So putting the ball in the best spot, doing it every single time, really pushing yourself too, finding out if you can make this throw, make that throw. If you can't make it, what do you have to do to make it? How do you got to position your body? So the summer is really about experimenting and then finding what works and then repping it, so that once you get to camp, you don't have to rep it, you just do it because you don't have to think about it.
Speaking of utilizing it and experimentation, what can you guys do to use the tight end position even more, especially in the passing game?
I feel like we use them a lot already, and obviously that's for Yursich to decide what he wants to do with his system. But obviously, like, we have one of the best tight ends room, if not the best tight end room in the country. So using those guys would definitely not hurt us at all, for sure.
To have that big pass play with Malik, how kind of crazy was that for Canadian kids to for the one guy that you have that huge play with, what was it like, and how did you guys kind of celebrate that?
No, that was awesome, especially because he was so wide open too. It just made it like 10 times better. But now for us to get that connection started, I think it was important because we had always talked about it. Like, we got to be, the two Canadian guys at Penn State putting up touchdowns. So for us to get our first one that day, it was a great feeling.
You mentioned that first drive and kind of getting back into it. What did you learn about confidence at your position through that kind of journey from there to where you were at the end of the game?
It's important, right? You can't go in there with no confidence, because then what are you going to do? You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to question everything, and then you're not going to be able to play well. The whole quarterback position is about being back there, relaxed, and knowing what you have to do, and that comes with confidence. So, like you said, I was nervous the first drive, but once I figured out, like, dude, you know this play, you know this system, you studied this defense all week. Like, just have some confidence to go out there and ball out and be calm and relaxed. So, no, I definitely learned a thing or two about confidence that day, for sure.
Do you think that describes who you are as a quarterback?
Yeah, and I think I'm always a confident guy, whether it's on the field or off the field. So I think it translates over, for sure.
Christian, speaking of confidence, I think in that game there was a play. I swear I saw a picture of you flash at a peace sign.
Yeah.
At a play, at a tackler or whatever that was. What prompted you to do that? Was that just spontaneous, or do you get asked about that a lot?
Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was third and medium or third and short, and I avoided a tackle in the backfield, and then I ran out and got the first down. And the peace sign was for the defender, because I was going to run out of bounds and throw him the peace sign because he couldn't touch me. And then the jumping part, like, I didn't even try to do that. I almost hyperextended my knee and it sent me flying up in the air. But then the picture came out sweet, so I'm not even going to complain about that one.
Christian, year two, but it's only Shawn ahead of you in terms of seniority in the quarterback room. You got the two freshmen here. Are you kind of feeling you're being pulled towards a leadership kind of component in this offense now?
Yeah, definitely. And it's not only in the QB room, it's with the whole team too. I think my role as a leader is going to evolve and only grow this year for sure. So, and I think having Shawn there with me is just a good resource to have, because he's done it for 6 years now. It's going to be 6 years. So he knows how to do it. He knows what it takes. And just to watch him work and take pointers from him and then implement that in my strategy, I think it's helpful.
Do you guys have specific goals this season for the offense in general, of like things you want to do this year?
We just want to win. We just want to win, and obviously we want our run game to be better, our pass game to be better. Like, we just want to win. At the end of the day, we'll do whatever we need to win. And if that's running the ball more, throwing the ball more, check downs, going up tempo, like, whatever we got to do to win, that's what we're going to do.
What are your thoughts about off-the-field issues, NIL, and the transfer portal?
I think NIL is a great thing for college athletes. I think it's a long time overdue, and I think it's well-deserved for a lot of guys and a lot of student athletes here at Penn State too. So there's a little bit of an issue with international students right now in NIL. So I've been trying to get more knowledge on the matter and stuff. So I'm trying to figure stuff out from my perspective. And the transfer portal, like you said, I think it's a great tool for schools to get guys when they need them. And not all players go to a school and it ends up being the right fit for them. So for the transfer portal to be open and for them to explore options and avenues, I think it's good.
Quarterback position obviously is a big focus of the transfer portal. How important is it for a guy in your role to have patience and kind of commit to your plan that you had coming to campus?
Yeah, I think it's important for anybody to commit to a school and then, have a plan to be there. And obviously that's why I'm here, because when I committed, I knew I wanted to be here. So I think, everybody's situation is different, but the way I see it is I'm gonna put the work in that I have to here, because that's why I came here. I knew it was a good fit for me, and I knew I'd have the opportunities that I want. So.
What's Coach Yurcich like in the meeting room? What's his personality on the field in the meeting room? What are some of the things you can tell us about him from that perspective?
He's great. He's super energetic, probably the most energetic coach on our staff. He brings the juice every day, the intensity every day, and he coaches us hard. He tries to make us uncomfortable and a little stressed out at times, because he's trying to create that game-like scenario where you're going to be in the game stressed out, nervous, like you got to make the play. So he does the best he can to put us in those positions and make us feel like we've got something on our back, and he wants us to persevere and just play well.
How does he show that energy? What are some of the things he does that make you say he's the most energetic coach you guys have?
He's definitely loud. That's one thing. He'll scream and yell, and he'll do all that. And then I think when we do our drills on the field, and like he's also moving around and running around, I think that just shows his energy and his commitment to making us better. So.
Does it help to have a coach that's that engaged? Because we've seen him here playing DB or playing corner.
No, definitely, because I'd rather him be doing that than him just stand behind us and just tell us, like, that was good, that was bad. Like, he gets into it because he knows the drill, he knows what we're trying to get out of it, and he feels like if I do this, then it's going to be the best way for my quarterbacks to get better. So, no, I really like what he does with us, with the other guys, and just the energy he brings to the facility every day.
What was your spring ball impression of Nick Singleton and maybe what he can bring to this program?
Nick Singleton is a great running back, and he's gonna really help us this year. His speed is crazy, his strength is crazy. Like you could just tell he was a 5-star in high school, so he's gonna be big time for us.
As quarterback, was Zane Duran a guy that kept popping up in your sight line during the spring when?
Yeah, definitely. Zane was in the backfield often. So just from when he walked on campus and I heard him speak, he's got the deepest voice I've ever heard, and I was like, this guy's 17. Oh yeah, he'll be an issue. So, no, Zane's been great.
What's the difference coming from Canada, like here in America?
In terms of what?
Of just kind of culture, things you weren't expecting, just living here versus what you grew up with.
I think it all depends on where you go. So I feel like some places in America, people aren't as nice, and then some places people are super nice. So there's a lot of similarities, but the biggest difference I would say is I feel like America just has more in terms of food, in terms of activities, stuff to do, sports. You guys just have more than we have. So I feel like I have more fun and a better time when I'm down here compared to when I go home, for sure.
Did you meet, I remember 2019 they had this, and Levis was at it, and he was talking, his answer was kind of like yours, the portal's potential for everyone, he might look into it. You didn't overlap with him at all? Did you meet him when you were being recruited?
I met him, yeah. I think he entered the portal the first week I was here, so I didn't even get to have a face-to-face conversation with him when I got here, but I had talked to him before, met him before, so I knew who he was, yeah.
You guys talk at all, stay in touch?
We texted a little bit after he left, but we haven't stayed in touch just because I didn't really know him. I didn't spend enough time here with him, so.
Christian, what drives you as a player?
Just my journey, really. Just from being where I'm from and all the sacrifices I've made to come down here. I think that's what drives me, because at the end of the day, in my mind, if I don't make it, it's all for nothing. And my parents have sent me here. I've done so much, so for me, I gotta accomplish what I set out to do.
Talk about family sacrifices that they help put you in this position.
Yeah, I mean, my parents said, yeah, let's send our kid away at 16 years old. Not a lot of parents can do that, right? So for them to do that, have confidence in me, but not only me, other schools, other parents, other families, they sacrifice a lot for me, so I gotta get it back in return for them.
How'd you convince them to do that? Or was that their idea?
It wasn't only me. There was a lot of the path was already laid out for the process, just because where I'm from, I train with Gridiron Academy, coached by Victor Redondo, and he has put a bunch of Canadian athletes from Ottawa in NCAA programs and prep schools down south. So I already knew it was something I wanted to do, and my parents knew it was eventually going to happen after I got my first offer. So we were all 100% in. So
hearing Seneca, New York is down south is kind of hilarious. It's north to almost everybody in America.
It is, yeah.
What do you think? You might have said this a little bit earlier in one way, but do you feel like it made you grow up a little sooner than most people?
Definitely, because I was 16 away from home, so I had to be all right, first of all, I can't mess up anything and have my dad come down to the States and come grab me and bring me back home. So I had to be smart, I had to be mature, and I had to make decisions that would keep me down there and keep me in school and keep playing football. So yeah, it definitely made me grow up.
You
that help you as a quarterback, knowing that you had to be mature a little bit earlier than most people?
Yeah, it definitely helped with my game because I had to. I think that's the point where I realized I had to be more of a neutral, emotional guy on the field. So not get too high, not get too low. Always stay at the same level so that everybody had. Like if somebody was to look at me, they can't be like, oh, our quarterback's stressing or our quarterback's too hyped. Our quarterback is neutral and stable. Yeah.
What were Thursday and Friday like last year before the Rutgers game?
Well, Thursday was a good day because Thursday we went to go eat as a QB room, so we had a good day on Thursday. And Friday is when everybody went down. Like our whole QB room came in with the flu. Our training room looked like a hospital room. Everybody had IVs hooked up to them. It was bad, man. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen Saturday, but luckily the meds that I took and all that stuff brought my fever down on Saturday. But Friday was a tough day because a lot of uncertainty and stuff.
How'd you keep your wits about you on the sideline in order to be ready?
Yeah, I mean,
it's inevitably.
I kind of like mentally locked myself in that I was gonna play because Shawn wasn't there the entire warm-ups because he was hooked to an IV. So in my mind, I thought I was gonna play, and then Shawn came out, he started. But I felt like I was already in that mode, so when Yosich told me, like, you're going in, get ready, I felt like I was already in that mode. I didn't have to, like, reset myself and be like, all right, you're going in. I felt like I was already ready for that.
How'd you play?
Felt like I played good. Like, I still had flu symptoms because I was in the huddle, like, coughing all the time, and I felt good, though. Like, the best part about it was just being back on the field and playing. It had been 2 years for me, so I was just happy, man. I was just happy we got the win, and I was happy that with everything we went through that day that, you know, we were able to get it done.
How does that affect your focus? Because, like, I can't go to the gym if I don't feel good, let alone have the flu. How do you focus on all the things you need to when you have the flu?
Yeah. Nah, it was tough. It was tough playing with those symptoms, but I had to make it work. You know what I mean? I was the only guy who could go in that day because everybody else was sick. So I wouldn't say it really like affected my confidence because I wasn't really thinking about it on the field or during the game until afterwards. Because afterwards I had lost my voice probably for the whole night and then 12 hours the next day. So in terms of confidence, I think that was it just kicked in once I started playing. I just forgot I was sick. So.
How do you think those game reps can help you moving forward?
Like tremendously. Like there's nothing like getting actual game reps to get experience and just get better. So I think it definitely helps me during like spring ball and camp and when I'm up there I can really like feel like I know what it feels like to be in a game and play under that environment. So.
In what areas are you looking to improve most between now and August?
Between now and August, I want to improve the most on my accuracy and throwing on the run. I think those are two things I can really work on. And obviously all the pre-snap elements, I always want to hammer that and become a pro at that. Because once you can beat a team pre-snap, they have no chance.
Is there a difference between accuracy at different parts of the field or throwing from different platforms, things you have to do differently, or is it all kind of the same thing, just focusing on more in one area or the other?
All kind of the same, but also all different. Every throw is different. Every throwing platform is different, but at the end of the day, you're still throwing the ball. You're still mechanically doing the same stuff. So you just got to be able to understand your body and control it in a way that you can get the ball to where you want to be in every position you're in, every platform, no matter who's around you, what's happening. So it's when you look at the details, it gets really different, but at the base of it, it's all the same.
When you're looking at pre-snap, is it safeties? Is it formation? Is it run game, pass game? I'm sure it's a little bit of all of that, but what is the part of the game you're trying to understand so you can go, oh, I know what they're doing now?
Right. I mean, the first thing you look at is the down linemen to figure out how many down they have, and then from there you scan the linebackers to the secondary. And from there you want to identify coverage shells, like if they're one high, two high. Are their corners pressed? Are they off? Are eyes inside? Do you have stacks on the field? Like, is a linebacker going to blitz because this safety's rotated down compared to this one being up? Just little stuff like that so you can have a plan. Because once you can figure that stuff out, then whatever play you get from the sidelines, you got an answer for whatever they're going to do.
Did Shawn ever ask you, excuse me, did Shawn ever ask you about his decision to come back?
Not asked me, no. Like, we had talked about it. It was definitely a topic of conversation at the end of the season on whether he was going to come back or not, and he knew he didn't know what he was going to do yet, so he did text me as soon as he knew, though, so yeah.
What kind of feedback did you want to give him? Just general.
Like, he's a great big brother, really. Like, a great mentor, a great friend, and just whatever I can take from him and add to my game, I'll definitely do, because he's got the experience, he's got the knowledge, and you know, he's been great since I've been here. So
how does he see the field? You mentioned all that stuff. You were just talking about what you want to learn. How much have you learned from him, and what have you picked up in that stuff?
I definitely learned to have a sense of urgency from him. That's one of the best things he has is when he's checking a protection or checking a play, like, he's trying to do it quick because he's thinking of the play clock, and that's something I've learned from him. And just his preparation as well, just what he does to prepare for games, I've kind of taken that into my own way and then tweaked it a little bit, so we kind of have similar processes in that way.
What does he see the game? Like, do you feel like from a cognitive level, how do you feel like he sees the game?
I think he sees it really well. I think he's, like I said, had a lot of experience with looks and stuff, so I feel like it comes really easy to him, and he can really, like, dissect it, whereas I'm still trying to get used to seeing certain looks and then identifying certain things. I feel like he just picks up on it, like, really fast, so I'm trying to get to that point like him.
What are you doing better now than you were last year at this time?
Definitely all the
feel night and day?
Yeah, it definitely feels night and day. From last spring ball to this past spring ball, I've made huge strides, I feel, in terms of, like, the pre-snap stuff, identifying coverages, blitzes, fronts, and then just protections, I feel like, has been my biggest thing. Just protecting myself, setting myself up for a good play. I think that's one of the best things I've done.
When did it really start to click for you? Was that after Rutgers? Was it after the bowl game? When did it all kind of come together and slow down?
For me, I think it was the beginning of the season. Like, it started coming together during practice and stuff, and I felt like I was doing good in practice, and then obviously when I, like, 100% knew it was Rutgers, that it all came together. So
obviously there's a lot of intrigue anytime a team brings a 5-star quarterback in there. How do you take that? Because obviously you want to help those guys along, but at the end of the day, there's only one quarterback. And how do you kind of draw that fine line between wanting to help both of those younger guys, but also kind of, improving your own abilities?
Yeah, I mean, bringing Drew and Bo in has been, like, great. We all get along. They bring a lot of talent to our room, which pushes me and Shawn to be better. And plus, it makes me and Shawn be like mentors to those two, because we got to teach them the ropes and show them how things get done. So it's made us better, 100%. And I'm super happy to have those guys with us. Drew's one heck of a player. Bo's one heck of a player. So it's all been great.
Do you feel like teaching them has helped you learn it better?
Yeah, because, I mean, they say if you can teach it, then you know it, right? So being able to teach something really makes you think about it. So it definitely helps you know the concepts and stuff, yeah.
Last year, Penn State had a great secondary and, some guys that went in the second round and a lot of production. But this group seems to have depth, similar talent. Like, how good have you seen them be, and what do you think of that group? Can they replicate what happened last year?
What group is it again?
The secondary.
Yeah, the secondary, obviously we're losing, like, Tariq, Brisker, but we got Joey coming back, we got Johnny, we got Kalen, we got Jay Reed, we got Tig. Like, I think we have one of the best secondaries, and we've got some ballers on that unit, so I'm not worried about those guys at all. They gave us some issues during spring ball for sure. So
a lot of guys, when they get here, there's a moment that's kind of humbling where they say, "Ooh, everybody else is pretty good here." What was that moment for you? Greg, I'm coming. Both.
I'm not sure. Obviously, like, when you come in, like, this is D1 ball, like, everybody's gonna be good. Everybody's a 4 or 5-star here, so
nobody picked you off too bad. Nobody housed you.
I don't know. I think that guy over there, number 4, did house me last spring ball. So that was probably my time where I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, people are fast, and, like, the game is way quicker, and you realize that during spring ball your first year. So